Say that we're on air. We are live, Rod Mills. We are live. I hope you got your big girl panties on. This is episode, I think this is 196. And I'm doing jazz hands, Rod Mills. What are you doing? What is that? What exactly
Wakanda,
is that?
baby. Wakanda.
Yeah. Rod Mills is doing Wakanda.
Black Panther, baby.
Oh, okay. I guess Rod Mills is just now catching up to Wakanda on video or something like that.
Yeah,
so he's
I got the bootleg version.
Yeah, he's doing that. We also have Ryan Jones from Gun Rights Across America. He just got in here, so he's getting set up. I'm not really sure. We might have to walk him through that. But we are live. I hope you guys are ready. We're talking about this this NFL. NFL's put out some new rules about the national anthem, whether you could stand or not stand, and the players, etc. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about gun rights across America as well. Shout out to everyone out there. What's up? It's Wednesday. What's going on with you, Rod Mills?
Oh man, just this is hump day, and so just trying to get over the work week, man. We're one more day closer to Memorial Day weekend, folks.
Right.
One more day. Guys, if for all my folks, whether military, non-military, active, non-active, whatever, man, get a flag this weekend, man. Put it in your yard, put it in your mailbox, or your cubicle at work or whatever, man. Show your pride. I mean, we're in America. This is Memorial Day weekend. Memorial Day weekend is not for the folks that are still living in the military. These are for the folks that gave the ultimate sacrifice, okay? So let's make sure that we understand that, all right? Veterans Day is for active and non-active. Memorial Day is for those that have gave the sacrifice, okay?
Okay, very cool. All right, and just so you guys know, we are going to take Memorial Day off, so we're going to have a long weekend. Plus, like Rod and I were talking about this before we started the show live. I'm also going to be off on Thursday, right, Lola? Is that graduation day around here? Yeah, next Thursday we're going to be off because that's graduation day. So we've got one of our boys is graduating. So, so there we go. Dimitri is texting me. He wants to know if we are on today. I thought Dimitri was coming on tomorrow.
Dimitri's coming on Friday.
Yeah, on Friday. Yeah. So someone's got yeah, I'm gonna tell him it's Friday, dude. So by the way, that's Dimitri from Armory Arms. He's coming on Friday, so that's when that's supposed to be happening.
I told Rod Mills to get in the chat because people need to tag you.
Oh, people want to tag you, Rod Mills. So you got to go in the chat so people can tag you on something. And Ryan is getting set up in the background, as you guys can hear. Let me see. I'm gonna mute you, Ryan. I don't know if you can hear me, but I'm gonna mute your thing while you're getting set up. So there we go. And Rod, you need to get on the chat so that the people can talk to you.
I'm in the chat.
Okay, so I guess you got to say something. So people, I don't know. Lola told me you got to say something. Okay, let me go through. Let's go. If we had enough confusion and stuff happening right now, let me go through the chat and say what's up to everyone there. First of all, number one tonight was Tank W. And if you don't know, that's Carl Compton. I guess he changed his name because he doesn't want us. I don't know if Carl doesn't want us to say, like, who's number one that's not Carl or what's going on, but that is Tank. No, it's not Tank W, it's Tank. It's just Tank. It's just Tank. So shout out to him. He's number one. Special K is number two. Who knows what happened to he went through a change. He now identifies as a tank.
The artist formerly known as Carl Compton.
Yeah, he has the right to identify himself as a tank if that's what he wants to identify as. So shout out to him. Hope everything's going good on his end. Special K is number two. Richard Hughes says he's the first in Michigan. So shout out to those guys. Henry 42, HNRE 42. He says he's in the top 10. So that's all that matters to him. Meatloaf Sandwich says still no Carl. No Meatloaf Sandwich. Tank is Carl. Carl's gonna have to do a lot of explaining since he changed his name, because I don't know. Is he like in the witness protection program now? I don't know what's going on. Yeah. So Meatloaf is here. Michael Bender as well. Richard Harper. I just when I'm looking through the chat right now, and Carl's doing a lot of explaining. So
see, what had happened
Yeah. Luis Valdez is here as well, so shout out to him. Let's see who else is in here. Let's see. Boss Hog, Hamburger Helper. And E-Rock, I see E-Rock. The Tyman Show says peekaboo, everyone. Yeah, Opt Out of Gun Control. Do you see him? I see him. I'm going down the scroll. Shout out to Opt Out of Gun Control. Ghetto Hood Gamer. So let's see. Ghetto Hood Gamer is out there. The Archangel as well. And Enrique Q. Let's see. Greg 98K. And I'm trying to go through this as fast as Logan Farley, SoCal Gunner, Robert McRae, and Strange Media moderator Gerald Loafers says, hello all. And speaking of NFL, the owner of the Seattle Sea Chickens gave $1 million to anti-gun causes in Washington State. Shame on him. And Imposter's here as well. He says, hi. And the Tyman Show wants to know who thinks Hank should start a tea club and be able to buy Lifestyles of the Locked and Loaded teacup and saucer. Oh my gosh. Yeah, don't start, Tyman Show. That's all I can say. Don't start none, won't be none. Let me see. Laggy McLag is also in here. Shout out to him. I see. Let me see. Oh, my thing just jumped to the bottom. Brian Quick. Travis, IP11, LV Louis Cypher, Rob Gross. I think I said Richard Hughes before, but shout out to him anyway. Obviously, Scorched Earth Firearms. That is Rod Mills, if you people don't know. He also changed his name. Rod Mills identifies as the Earth, which is on fire, training. So, Scorched Earth Firearms. That's what Rod Mills identifies as. Devon Brown is here. I see Opt Out of Gun Control. Kevin Sneed and Cardman 162004. And he says forcing people to stand and show respect reeks of statism and communism to me. That's what he says. So I don't usually see that gentleman in here, but hey, we'll let him have his voice.
It's the FBI.
Yeah,
he's the CIA.
Yeah, Scamp 900 is in here as well. Josh V says, "What's up, strangers?" And Tank. Carl is saying Tank is his nickname. That's what he said. Tank is his nickname. Mortensen Firearms is in here as well. SOMD Harley Rider. So South Maryland Harley Rider, I guess. I see him. Alexis McElvany. I carry my revolver in single action. And let's see who else. I think that's pretty much it. If I miss someone, let me know and we'll shout you out. I don't know if it looks like Ryan Jones from Gun Rights Across America. He's almost ready. You can probably unmute yourself. I don't know if he can unmute himself or not.
I think we got it.
Oh, there you go. Look at that.
What's up, guys?
What's up?
What's going on?
He of the redheaded stepchild, tactical beardedness.
He's a ginger.
Absolutely.
Yes, Ryan is a ginger. Yes, just to show you that we allow all the peoples.
Damn, I like his background.
It's semi-professional. Okay, try to keep it a little classy here.
Yeah, a little something. You got to represent for all the people from Gun Rights Across America. There's a bunch of them.
Absolutely.
If any of you guys are tuning in, I hope they all knew that you were a ginger before.
There's been a few pictures leaked out on the internet somewhere.
Yeah. What's up, Ryan? What's going on, man?
Not a whole lot, brother. Just trying to fight on here in Texas because, man, it's a trip after this week and the past couple weeks. So
yeah, I can imagine. Yes, absolutely. We'll have a conversation about that as well. Tina is Liberty Cat is also in there. Shout out to her. Tacos and French fries says I missed him. Shout out to him. Tacos and French fries. Nightmare 03 says, how could you forget tacos and French fries? Can't, my bad.
Damn. Armory the X's just called me out. I did the Wakanda thing wrong. Here it is.
Oh, yeah. You gotta do it right, man.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be anyone from the Wakanda Institute of throwing up gang signs coming to critique you. all of a sudden, yeah. You got to let the black peoples have something, Lola. You got to let them have Wakanda. You got to let them pretend that,
let us have something.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to start this. You're going to get me into this early. But, this is a thing where there was some, according to, Marvel, is it Marvel? I think they were Marvel, right?
Yeah,
Marvel. The Black Panther was Marvel. Yeah, according to Marvel, the Wakandans stood by whilst everyone else in Africa went into slavery, supposedly, and didn't do a damn thing about it. So
y'all can have them.
I'm guessing you're celebrating that, right, Rod Mills? No.
Man, I'm just early celebrating a 3-day weekend, man.
I thought people were over that Wakanda thing like a couple of months ago. Did you just watch the DVD? Is that what's going on?
Oh no, man. I saw it like the second weekend it came out.
So why are you throwing it up now?
I started to do the punching thing like Kevin Dixie, but I was like, well, I didn't want him to come out and say I was biting off of him. So I said, well, hey.
No,
Wakanda.
I don't know. Okay,
I go to the gun range and say Wakanda.
Hey, you gotta have a thing, okay? You gotta have a thing. Let people know you're there.
Yes, I guess I gotta let Rod have his thing and that.
Yeah, hey, give me just a minute. Dang.
Okay, all right, fine. So Ryan, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. Thanks for making it.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, well, we appreciate it. So before we get into all this deepness here, this is your first time coming on the show. It's going to be crazy.
I kind of expected it.
Yeah, just so you know. So tell us who you are, and obviously you're involved with gun rights across America. So also who are the gun rights across Americas?
Okay, well, let's go through the 5-minute elevator speech here. No, not really. We're basically a grassroots online organization where we try to get people encouraged to get political in their local areas, but especially pay attention to what's going on nationally. But especially most people realize, well, what can I do in my area? Because, we see all these things on the media, the lovely media that, basically tells us that don't need guns and also their stuff. But really people, they kind of feel helpless because they kind of put their money towards the NRA and say, okay, good for them. They're fighting our fight. But what can I do in my area? Because they don't want to just sit there and wait for the NRA to do all their work. Well, we get people encouraged to fight in the state level, their city level, and especially what most people don't understand is how much their school boards get involved in their gun rights. Now, especially here in Texas, we actually have the ability to carry on our school campuses. Most people don't realize this, but when people understand that they can, it's all about their school boards and they control that. Now, we do have some school districts that have gotten the bright idea and realize, oh, wait, maybe we better arm and protect our children, that we stay with every day to the school year. So once people get educated on the basically the laws that are in their locale, we get people, educated and then energized to go fight that fight so they can have more rights in their area. Especially, like I said, since we're based in Texas, we focus on that. But also in similar areas, we get people that say, hey, we have this issue in our area. And then so what we do is we try to say, okay, what are your laws? Because most people, if they have their concealed carry permit, if they're lucky enough to have constitutional carry, then good for them. But, there are a lot of cities that have their own ordinances that they still use. Like here recently, we had one of our friends for Open Carry Texas, CJ Grisham. He literally just got arrested and is going through legal issues through Almost Park, Texas, where they have a legal ordinance that are still upholding since the 1980s, I believe 89. But back in I'd say when we got concealed carry in the 90s, that basically disallowed that ordinance, but they were still affecting it now in 2018. So we try to get people educated in the stupid laws, ways they can fight those laws, and ability to educate more people around them that feel the same way. Because people are like, well, this is the way it's always been. Well, it doesn't have to be if you get educated and energized to go fight the stupidity and corruption that are around you. That's kind of what we do.
All right, very cool, very cool. And let me just say, if you are waiting for the NRA to come fight for your gun rights, you are more likely to have Wakanda come and save your ass. So you better do like Rod Mills and start throwing up that Wakanda thing if you're waiting for them to come save you. Also, I noticed there's some people asking for Walter. Walter took the night off. Walter's been like working on guns and stuff like that. He's busy. And then people are also asking for Babyface. Babyface is given the concealed carry class here. So he's somewhere around here, but he's given the concealed carry class right now. So you got me, you got Rod Mills, you got Ryan Jones of Gun Rights Across America. Ryan, for people who are interested, I think I've known you guys now for what, like 4 years or something?
It's about that. Yeah, we started up in 2012, so we've been around for a little bit.
Yeah, there you go. So a long time. So if people are looking to get involved with Gun Rights Across America, what can they do? Where do they go? What website, social media, etc.?
Our Facebook is probably the biggest thing. It's basically Gun Rights Across America, just Facebook, .com/Gun Rights Across America. And then our Twitter, which I usually run, is GRAA America, just like it sounds. And then it's how easiest way to get a hold of us, because I personally run that. So if you need to get a hold of me, you have any questions, ask us and go for it.
Right. Absolutely. Very cool. Shout out to CloverTac. I see CloverTac there in the chat, so shout out to him. And we're still getting trolled by that guy that's mad because we're going to complain about the NFL. But you can, hey, I've got no problem. I don't know. Yeah, I'm just seeing him scrolling up on there, so he's having a good old time. And by the way, Carl, you did not go to the NRA show, right? I'm sorry, not Carl. Why am I saying Carl? Ryan.
Carl.
Yeah.
Oh, I did.
Ryan.
Absolutely, I did. Absolutely, I did.
You did? Did I see you at the NRA show?
We took a photo and everything.
Then why were you telling me that it wasn't you when I saw you at the NRA show?
It was me. I was just having a little fun with you.
Oh, see, I told you, Lola, he was messing with me at the show.
Yeah. You got punked.
Yeah, he was trying to mess with me. I was like, you look a lot like Ryan Jones. He's like, well, Ryan Jones is not here. And I was like, oh, so all of you dudes, redheads over there?
There's only one of me, man. There's only one of me.
And then I was like, Lola, why the hell is Ryan telling me that he's not Ryan? So anyway, whatever. I just needed to clear that up for me personally, because I'm trying. Lola's like, what are you talking about? And I said, he told me he wasn't Ryan. So you're not used to it. Lola's not used to your sense of humor yet. So.
It's okay. It's all right.
Right. Absolutely.
Him and Patrick R will be good together.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Okay, shout out to Big Dick Willie. Big Dick Willie is also here. So shout out to him. Okay, so we've got a couple of things. We are gonna deep dive into gun rights across America, lots of stuff. Rod, I don't know if you have any questions. I don't know if the folks out there have questions. We'll get into that.
I want to let Ryan know that I tried to do this little ghetto ass backdrop. I tried to do something like his and it didn't work. It looks stupid, so I'm gonna just throw it away.
Yeah.
You gotta have the proper tools to do the proper job. That's what I figured out.
Yeah, so I just threw that crap away, man.
Yeah. Yes, thank you. We appreciate that very much. Also, guys, don't forget to hit the thumbs ups. Even if you're trolling us, you can hit the thumbs ups. If you hate us, you can hit the thumbs downs. I don't really, it doesn't really matter. Whatever floats your boat, just, hit some kind of thumbs one way or the other. So there you go. We appreciate for the people who do give us the thumbs ups. All right. So what I wanted to do, if you don't mind, let's jump into this whole NFL thing. Have you seen this? Did you catch wind of this in the news?
I think I saw something about it. We're basically making the players stand up for the anthem. Is that right?
Yeah, or they're fine. I don't know if they're going to make them do it because they're going to fine them. Let me see. I'm going to pull up the article that I have here. And the specific one that I was looking at is in the USA Today. It says NFL's national anthem policy. Players on field must stand, show respect. So amid repeated protests during the playing of the national anthem over the past 2 seasons, the NFL on Wednesday passed a revised policy that mandates players and teams personnel present on the sidelines shall stand and show respect for the flag and the anthem. The revision allows players who would not wish to stand to remain in the locker room. Also under the revision, each franchise will have the power to issue their own policies, which could include fines for players protesting the anthem under the detrimental provision of the league's personal conduct policy. So It goes deeper than that. Go ahead, Rod. I know you work with the NFL, right?
Right. So what's going to happen now is you're going to have arbitration on this, whereas the players union, if they start fighting them, you're going to see a big court case on this. With that, because now what they're going to, and their argument is going to be that, okay, this is my First Amendment right that you're actually suppressing, and you're fining me for doing it. Now, one thing, we have to also look at it like this. I mean, yeah, true enough, the NFL, it is an entertainment, it's a sport. They are working there. They actually are employees of that particular, of the National Football League and of the team. So everybody's saying that, if I did it at my job, I would be fired. Well, and I like to give it, I'm looking at both sides of it, because keep in mind, I served. I was in the Army National Guard. I'm African American. I was a military police officer. So, I'm looking at it from all angles. I'm looking at it from an angle that few actually can look at it from. And, just as we want to make sure that we have our Second Amendment right, we also have to make sure that the First Amendment right is subjected. And keep in mind, it's not against the law for you to protest the flag. And they're actually not protesting the flag. We want to make sure that we get this correct. They are not protesting the flag. What they are protesting is the way that African Americans or people of color have been treated in America. That's where that came from. And then what the media spin it is, okay, they're protesting the flag, which is untrue. Okay. Well, also keep in mind, if you're getting fined for doing something that is your First Amendment right, how can you get fined? I mean, that would be like us getting fined for, having AR-15s that are legal, AK-47s, or any type of gun. Imagine if we all got fined for having it, So, there's nothing more American than the fact that, you have the right to protest. Hey, when the Ku Klux Klan and the Black Panthers out there protesting, I'm against both of them. But when they're protesting, the first thing I have to always remind myself is that they're all Americans and they're exercising their rights. Okay, now I may not agree with them, but they are exercising their rights. And so they have the freedom to do whatever, as long as it's in a, they're not breaking the law, they have the freedom to do so choose. Now, again, I'm all for somebody exercising their First Amendment and Second Amendment and any rights. So, I kind of look at it from a double-edged sword. Now, I stand up.
I was going to ask you. So, what's your personal thing about this whole thing?
I stand up, and I've always stood up. Now by me, my position at the Jaguars, if I wanted to not stand up, of course I could go somewhere and come back and, after the game starts and go from there. But I choose to stand up. I put my hand over my heart, and, because it's what I believe in. Now, I'm not going to, tell these guys that they're wrong for believing what they're doing, especially if I know that they're not protesting the flag and it's something else that they're protesting. Now, if they say, no, we're protesting the flag, then I would be against that.
Okay. So let's dig into this. Brian, how do you feel about this?
Well, I mean, it's like anything. You always have a right to protest in this country. There's nothing wrong with it. I think the problem people have is they forget when they're working for an organization, when a company, because they're basically protesting at work. You have the absolute right to protest anywhere you want to, as long as it doesn't interfere with your job, because the job has the right to say what you do because you're representing them. And that's the way it's always been. The problem is, I don't think people understand that. They think, oh, I can always say, regardless of what, I can say anything at any time, but that is just not the case. You're representing a private organization. And I think if people understood that, they would, people getting upset and people getting angry at this, it would not be as big of a deal, because they realize, okay, I can protest outside of my work as much as possible. But if I take my politics to work, it's completely up to them what they do with that.
Yeah. So if you decide to work someplace that place can set rules for you. You don't have to work there. You can choose not to work there or whatever, but they can set rules. Obviously, there's limits on the rules that they can set. You know, they can't sexually harass you and etc. So I think the way that we have to look at this is compartmentalize the thing. So there's two things. I think Rod was talking about that a little bit, right? So there's one, the person's right to protest, and then what exactly are they protesting? And
well, you know, Hank, let me interrupt real quick, because I'm actually gonna fill you guys and the audience on something that most folks don't know about the NFL. And understand this, that players didn't start standing up for the national anthem until 2009. What happened is that the military and the NFL struck a deal, whereas it's all about promotion. When you see where they stopped doing it now, but there used to be a time where they would, you know, after the national anthem, they would have a flyover on, and they still do it actually for NFL games. They'll have a flyover. Well, what happened is that, you know, the NFL is basically, you know, charging the military to go ahead and do that. So there's money in this. Understand this. Whether you agree or disagree, it's all about money. Okay, the NFL is basically losing sponsorship, which is money. Okay, they're looking. People are not. There's a black eye because people are not showing up to the games. They're not selling out like they used to. Again, money. Okay, so first and foremost, we can, you know, hey, we can be patriotic all we want to, but when the NFL comes around, it's all about money. Okay, money first, everything else second. Okay. Understand that.
Yeah. So the thing that I'd like to do to try to break it down and have a discussion about it is, I think we should compartmentalize some of the things that are going on. So I think, one, the NFL, like you said, I'm not even into sports. I don't watch football. I can give two craps there, but we all pay attention to these kinds of things when certain things happen, right?
Right.
And I think people are paying attention to it because they're like, these guys are, you know, they think they're challenging their patriotism, or they're challenging America itself. So, one, if the NFL makes money, why do they make money? They make money because people go to those games, or they broadcast the games. People buy
broadcast the rights.
Yeah, people buy their merchandise and all that kind of stuff. They make money from it. Football is supposed to be an American thing, regardless of when the tradition started of you know, of showing some kind of respect for the flag and the national anthem. Whether it's a new thing or an old thing, if most of the people in America react to that, so I think one of the people who really everyone's looking at here is Kaepernick, right?
Kaepernick, yep.
Yeah. So when people react to that and say, "Oh, you know, this, I have a problem with this guy doing this," and basically saying, you know, screw America in this moment, when I don't feel that that's the right way to go about it, or they don't like where he's choosing to do it. Just like he may have the right to protest, people have the right to go, yeah, I don't like that. Right, and if they take their money out of it, and if the NFL realizes that they're going to suffer money-wise because the audience doesn't like that, then they have to make a decision, and therefore they have the right to put those restrictions on the players, and the players could choose to deal with it, or deal with the fines, or do whatever it is. There's lots of people having rights here in terms of being able to protest and do things, and people have the right to say, you know what, I don't like that.
I think more so with the players, their situation is where they're saying that, hey, look, okay, if you guys don't want us to do this, fine, but you're not doing anything. You have, the NFL is a conglomerate as far as when it comes to media is concerned. And with Colin Kaepernick, who is mixed race, okay, his mother is white, his dad is black. Understand this, and you can't, because a lot of people in the media like to spin it was a black against white thing, which is not. Okay, this guy is got a little bit of both in him. Okay, also the fact that just as let's go back to the media real quick, and I'm going to show you how the media does things with the gun world. You very rarely ever see when there's an active shooter situation and there's a guy, a civilian or a police officer that stops it. That doesn't make big news versus the blood and gore of one person killing many, and then that's it. Okay. with Colin Kaepernick, you know, the things that he's done as far as putting out his own money to actually help homeless people. This is stuff that a lot of people don't even realize. And I know it's kind of getting off of the national anthem thing, but a lot of people want to paint him as being a bad guy. And this guy really isn't a bad guy. He just basically did what Curt Flood did. And if you guys don't know who Curt Flood is, I'm not going to even go into that. He was a Major League Baseball player. He's the first one that basically said that, hey, you know what? We should be able to get free agency in professional sports. Okay. Look at Muhammad Ali. Okay. He actually said, hey, look, I am not going to the Vietnam War. You know, I refuse to fight, you know. So,
and he paid a price for that.
He did pay a price for that.
Yeah, yeah. But you can stand up for something, but then you can't get mad if you have to pay a price for what you stand up for, because you stand up, you're trying to make a sacrifice, and that means you're willing to take, you know, to take some kind of backlash over it. You can't get mad or cry further racism, or, in my opinion, whatever it is, when people come down against you. I'm not, I mean, we could have the discussion about whether or not it's right to stand up and say, hey, people in America, these kinds of people in America getting treated badly. But the thing is that regardless of whether he's black or white or mixed or not mixed, any football player, if you had a gay football player that thinks America treats gay people bad and he was doing the same thing, we're all going to be mad. Okay. So whoever it is that wants to come down against America, most of us that are Americans will go, oh, okay, at this, why do you choose this point to protest something? You know, why are you choosing this thing? Why are you choosing when the anthem is being played, when you know, when we're respecting the American flag to protest, when there's lots of other opportunities as a football player that you would have, or anyone out there, that there's lots of opportunities that you would have to say, hey, there's a lot of terrible, unfair things going on in America. Overall, I don't think America's perfect at all. Right. But overall, in the world, even if you count African nations, okay, or countries that are run by black people and have a majority of black people, where do you think in the world black people are treated the best? Do you think they're treated the best in Africa or in America?
I really couldn't tell you. I mean, I've never been.
Well, I could tell you. America is the place that all people are treated better than anywhere else. Anywhere else. As a black man, he would have less rights. I saw stuff like he was in Ghana. Lola's from Ghana. He was in Ghana and they were like, you know, dancing with him and all that kind of stuff because he has money. If he was just a regular dude in Africa, he would have nothing. Yeah. He would be treated worse than that. People could do things to him and bury his body somewhere and do this to them and that to them. If you don't believe me, just look at the news. This is the stuff that happens. I'm not saying that America is awesome and it treats everyone awesomely and there aren't problems, but overall, America is a better place than everything else in the rest of the world. Why would you choose this particular venue to go after America as a whole and what it stands for when it's doing better for all people, including people of color and black people, okay, or people of African descent, than anywhere else in the world? Hey, that's the thing. You have lots of opportunities to go after it.
Ryan, I want to let you know we ain't forgot you, bro.
Yeah. Oh, you're fine.
No, you're gonna have to. It's a
current topic. Right? Absolutely, it's a current topic today. I mean, that's the funny thing about we're only 200 plus years old, but the fact is it's still the best. You know, one of the youngest countries in the history of the planet, but yet we still have the most freedom out of enemy around. So people want to say, oh, it's bad here, it's bad for this. Well, we're a giant melting pot with only 2 centuries going on. So the fact that everything's going to be perfect in 2 centuries, I'm sorry, that's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
Just look at history.
I mean, look at other countries around the world. We just celebrated last weekend, Rod, in England. We just celebrated in England last weekend because some prince in England married some chick who's like, you know, half black or half white or whatever. I'm like, oh my God, that's so awesome. You know, what the hell are we I remember when Obama was running in America and people from England were saying, yeah, America needs to get like a black president. And I was saying to them, oh, really? Because I have relatives in England. I've lived in England. And people were telling me that. And I was like, you know what? Maybe we do. It's just like how you guys had that black prime minister. Remember that? And they were like, what are you talking about? Never had a black. They never had a black prime minister.
Oh, okay.
That's the joke. That's
okay.
the point that I'm making to you.
Yeah.
This is like, these are people over there. It's like some kind of I think it's not. It wasn't even a celebration of that. The celebration was that one of these princes got married, and then there's a whole bunch of chicks that are jealous they didn't get to marry a prince or whatever kind of bullshit was going on there. How are those places? This is why, like, I think the important part of this that we should look at, other than the, like, I think what's happening here is people are mad because he's choosing to go against the flag. The other part of it is, do people feel like they're being treated, you know, like, do you think people are disproportionately, or black people are disproportionately treated bad in America? You're an American, you were born here, right?
Right.
Okay. You know, do you believe that?
I actually do.
Okay.
I believe that there is, I think this is more so, man, it's ingrained in all of us. But the main thing is that I'm glad that I'm a part of a group of people. And like, I think I can't remember who I was telling to this the other day, that I'm like, man, you know what? When I come into this group here, although we have all different races in this podcast, we all think as one, okay? And, you know, like when James Ledger opt out, you know,
for the most part, like any other, like any other group of people in the world or anywhere else, gun guys, we're normal people, and most of us don't care about those things, especially in this day and age. Most of us are over that. But there's some people who subscribe to those thoughts still. You know, there's still some racist people out there on both sides. There's some black people who are pro-gun and they're racist. Yeah, there's some white dudes who don't want to see black people with guns or whatever. And that happens to us as a group, just like it happens in America, just like it happens in the world. The question that I was asking you, and I'm not trying to knock your response to it, is do you feel as a black person that you are treated worse in America? And if you were in an African nation, that you would somehow be treated better?
Oh, no, because when people always, you know, I hear people saying, well, we ought to go back to Africa. I'm like, I'm not going over there. You know, I mean, shit.
I've been there.
Hell, so. I love my AC. I like cable. Hell, I like my internet. You know, I make
all those things exist in Africa, man. Come on now.
Hey, but I mean, I like being able to get in my car and ride down the street and do everything.
No, you know what you like? You know what you like having? You know what you like having, Ron? You like having rights, my friend.
Yeah, and exactly. And
you like having some rights that you would not have. I'm telling. I lived in Nigeria. Okay, I lived in Nigeria. Lola was born in Ghana. Okay. You would not have this. I'm not saying there's people in Africa that live literally like kings. All the bullshit that we looked at Black Panther, I like Black Panther itself as a movie, right? All that stuff that we looked at in there's some people in Africa who live like that, okay? But for the most part, what would happen is if you were not born with those things, you could achieve it, but it would be incredibly difficult. And in those places, you don't have the same rights that you have in America. So I'm not saying that horrible things haven't happened in America. You know, obviously America, the biggest thing I think for Black Americans and even people from the Caribbean, I'm from the Caribbean, is slavery. Okay. But let's ask ourselves like where that whole thing came from, right? The huge percent of slavery was not some white people that went to Africa and just kidnapped a whole entire nation of people. And, you know,
it's amazing. We were talking about that in the barbershop last week. And I said the same thing. I said that, you know, and not to give I don't want to get too far off today's topic, but you know, there wasn't a couple of guys, white guys in boats that came over there and took over a whole damn continent.
You can't do it. It doesn't matter how much guns. It doesn't matter how much guns these guys had, and we're talking about hundreds of years ago.
Yeah.
So they didn't have high technology, but they did have guns, and they did have this technology where en masse they could move over to a place, and they can bring people. But what basically happened is that Africans sold their own brothers and sisters into slavery. Exactly. I'm telling you that if people in America don't know that, then they need to go research that and find that out. So they sold their own people into slavery, and then obviously people were mistreated. That's what happens in slavery. You never heard the stories of slavery that happened to all the other races on the planet, and they were like, "Oh my God, it was so awesome to be a slave."
Yeah, I'm like, when Kanye said slaves had a choice, I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? You know, now let's understand this. When they abolished slavery, keep in mind, you didn't just have everybody just leaving the damn plantation saying that, oh, hey, we're slaves. We're former slaves. No, they stayed on the plantation because, understand this, they felt that they stayed because of what felt comfortable with them. That was their home at that time. Okay?
They were conditioned. Yeah. I think
it was conditioned.
I don't know what Kanye meant, but I'm going to tell you that slavery is not a choice when you don't have an ability to fight back and to be free. Right? When you don't have a mechanism, this brings it back around to the whole gun thing. If you don't have a mechanism to be free, then it's not a choice. If you have a mechanism to be free and you choose to either stay a slave or stay there on the plantation, that's a choice. But also what we're facing right now in America is that people have rights. Like in America, you have the right to the Second Amendment. You don't have that anywhere else in the world. There's nowhere else in the world that you could say, oh, you know what? These people have had this thing for, there's other places where you can have guns and all of that. I wouldn't deny that. But you have this in America, and people in America, whether they're black or not black or whatever categories they want to put themselves into, they are choosing to give that up. There's lots of black people. There's lots of these same football players. There's lots of people like Colin Kaepernick that want to, by choice, give away the right to own guns. And then do you know who gets locked up first? Do you know who's going to go to jail first with those new gun laws that they want to create? People that look just like him or that look like you or look like me. That is a choice to be a slave.
Well, if people would actually learn history of the Jim Crow laws, the first gun control laws were for recently freed slaves. Period.
Yeah. So the thing about this whole thing, I mean, I do understand. I think that people, there's still things happening in America that are not right, so, you know, and people have issues and all that kind of stuff. But those things are happening all over the world. All over the world. I was talking to, I don't know if you were here, Rod, but we were talking a couple of weeks ago about how in England, all these people who came from the Caribbean, who were born, like my parents were born British citizens. They were born British citizens, and then they went to England. But a few years before they went there, a lot of the people in Guyana decided to claim their sovereignty, so they gave up their British citizenship, right? So there's all these people from the Caribbean, from Jamaica, from Guyana and Trinidad and all over. They went to England. They've been working there and doing all these things, and now that those people are retiring after they've built up this nation, they're running into problems in England. And the British are saying, yeah, you don't really have the right to be here. They want to deport some people that have been there for a long time, you know, but yet we're thinking, like, if you're in America and you're stuck here and you don't go anywhere else and you look at it, you think, oh man, this is like the world's horrible because, you know, everyone's against me. They enslaved my people and they're still doing this thing to me. And you don't realize that all people in the world suffer. And the only thing that you have to push back, a lot of these guys every day are working against that. If things were really that bad here, if your community is really that bad and you don't want the police to protect your community because you think, oh, this is a bunch of white guys and when they come in here, they just kill us indiscriminately, then you defend your community. You get rid of the bad guys in there. Guess what? You're going to have to kill some people. Because some people in your community are going to be bad guys and they're going to be vicious and their asses need to be taken out. That's just the reality of what's going on. You know, now, does that mean that there's not someone who gets, you know, of course, there are people who should never get treated in a certain way, but it's not just us who get treated like that. This is happening all the time.
All the time.
Right. And there's reasons why this happened. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ryan. I'm not trying to.
Oh no, you're standing on your podium. I'm just nodding. It's like, yep, exactly what I would say.
Yeah, I think.
Preach on, brother. Preach on.
Yeah, I just think there's certain things here. I think we have lots of opportunities to protest things and push back against things. you know, and say like, hey, this thing's happening, it's horrible, and try to do something about it. But a lot of it to me is bullshit. And for me, having lived in other places, being born in Guyana and living there, living in England as I did, and I know a lot of people think that place is awesome. It's not awesome. Saw racism there. I lived in Africa. I'm telling you, I saw a shit ton of racism in Africa from other black people. You know, I'm married to an African woman, and Africans hate me, including people in her family. And when they get mad, they're like, yeah, you know, you guys are the garbage that we threw away. That's how you wound up in slavery. You were garbage. You didn't matter to us. Like people never fucking watched Shaka Zulu. That's what Shaka Zulu is about. He was one dude who was like, yeah, you can't let these people come here and take our brothers and sisters. You know, so I think the problem here is people don't really understand history. They don't understand history. And then they're trying to fix things. I get it. I want to fix stuff too, but let's fix things the right way. And the wrong way is when you start going, yeah, we got to take the guns away. Because if you go ahead.
I was
go
gonna
ahead,
say,
Ryan.
start limiting freedoms to fix things that are wrong. It's like, what are you doing? You're completely at the antithesis of what this country was based on, is maximum freedom. And you say, because, oh, well, some people can't, you know, abuse that freedom, yet you're going to, you know, basically take all the freedom away from everyone just because, you know, some people abuse that. I'm sorry, that's just wrong, inherently wrong.
Yeah. And that's what you have to look at overall. Like, this is my opinion. Overall, when you look at guys like Kaepernick and a bunch of other guys in the NFL, they're just trying to please the people in Hollywood and the celebrities. They just want to go to the parties. That's my opinion. If you look at what happened with, if you look at this thing that happened with Coleon Noir and Killer Mike from the group Run the Jewels, when they sat down and they were having a conversation about guns as two black guys, they had a real genuine conversation. I looked at that whole thing. The NRA put that up. You guys know I'm not a fan of the NRA, right? But they put up that whole conversation. I looked at it and I agreed with most of what Killer Mike was saying, except he's a freaking like Marxist and shit like that. And don't agree with that bullshit. But I agreed with what he was saying, and he was trying to say, hey, this stuff is going to imprison us. And you know, he was talking about how he believed in guns and all that kind of stuff, and acknowledging that places like the NRA help that. And then when Hollywood pushed back, he totally turned. He did a 180.
He turtled. He absolutely turtled.
Yeah, and that's horrible to me, because that was an opportunity to really try to do something here. If you make people independent, you make them able to stand up, you make them able to defend their own communities and all that kind of stuff, then you'll have nothing but respect. You know, one thing that I believe in is the Second Amendment and the fact that an armed society is a polite society. Okay, and if you want to change all these things that are happening, why would you attack the symbols of what gives you the right to do that? And then at the same time, turn around and go, yeah, all these problems because of guns. We got to take the guns from people. You know,
it's short-sighted. It's a lack of education. That's exactly what it's a complete lack of education. If you ever try to talk to an anti-gunner about what even a gun is, I mean, they have so many terms, they have no idea what they're talking about. And it's like, it's just stunning. These people want to take away the guns away, but they have no idea about the thing they're even talking about, other than, well, this happens with this, you know, the gun causes this. And you know, they try to like, how does an inanimate object cause problems? It's simply a tool. It's these people that, you know, have whatever issues, said, well, this is the solution. I must do it with this object. But the problem is like, if you're talking to people with such ignorance, how can you properly solve a problem when they're so ignorant? That's the problem.
Right. Is that you, Rod? What are you listening to? Is that
man? I was listening to Randy Watson, man. I'm sorry.
Oh, really? Are we boring?
No.
Seriously.
For some reason, I was looking at your hair and I thought about Randy Watson.
Oh my gosh. All right, whatever. So here's the thing. Like, Rod, do you think? I mean, let's talk about the things that people, you know, the problems that people have in America. What do you think is like? Do you really think that if someone takes a knee when the anthem is being played or disrespects the flag, do you think that there's anything in that's going to help solve the problem that people have in America, or any specific group has in America?
Well, we can look at it. Has it helped at all so far? Yeah,
what he's done, has it helped anything?
No, because keep in mind, what originally when that started, that was about it was around the time when the police officer killed the guy up there where Kevin lives. I can't think of the guy's name. The police officer that Ferguson. Okay, that actually is what spearheaded. And then keep in mind with all the African Americans that were getting killed by police, and keep in mind we now have cameras everywhere and media everywhere to be able to see this. Now, one thing I will say that this ain't nothing new. This has been going on for however long police have been out there, probably.
Right.
Now it's to the forefront now to where we're able to actually see it. Okay. Now it started then, you still got black guys getting killed by the police. So, or there was an NFL player that got choked out by the police a couple of weeks ago, and the officer got fired. So basically,
have we had any white people killed by the police in that time?
Oh, sure.
I'm sure there have been, but it's not publicized because the media doesn't publicize that. They publicize black people getting killed by the police. Right. Not saying that.
And I think that people unjustly. First of all, there's some people who justly get killed by the police.
Oh yeah,
there's some people who
unjustly get their ass killed.
Yeah, there's some people who unjustly get killed by the police, and there's some middle ground and all that kind of stuff. But we still have that problem. Is there a solution to that?
Well, I would hate to say that there probably isn't going to ever be a solution to it. But thinking about this, Hank, one of the videos that has your most views, what is it? That time when you got stopped by driving while being strange, right?
Right.
Is that like your number one YouTube video?
No, it's not my number one. My number one video is a how it's made video with Sam Andrews, and that's like 500,000. But that one's up there. I think it's like 100,000, 150,000 views.
So why do you think people look at that?
Because it's an issue. It's something that I think lots of people identify with. And what I'm saying, even Ryan, I'm asking you that particular issue, like, is there something that we could do about that issue of police officers killing people?
I mean, really, I believe it's a training issue. I mean, instead of having the first thought going to your gun and shooting, I mean, you have to, yes, there's obviously force, and force is important, but I think the quick reaction and police officers either having a lack of training or the wrong people are police officers, where they don't know how to handle that stress. But yeah, they've had training, but when the shit hits the fan and they have to act in a panic situation, rather than talking to people and talking them down and using de-escalation techniques, the first thought of modern policing, at least aware as I'm concerned, aware of, is, pull gun, shoot first, and ask questions later, rather than trying to de-escalate situations when it comes to like domestic disputes, a warrant issue, because a lot of these times is people having warrants, or they committed a crime, but they're like, oh shit, I got the worst thing in the world is like gonna get arrested, and then or we're like, okay, yes, we have to do our job, but we're not going to harm you. And then I think the problem is that there has been such a history of police corruption, of police abuse, that until government itself completely overturns how police react from everyday situations, rather than, like I said, the mentality of the only thing that matters is going home at the end of the day. Well, that's all well and good, but if you're hurting people because of that policy, then you have to change the mindset.
Yeah. I think I agree with you. I think there's multiple things. There's not one thing. There's multiple things that we have to do. We have to look at that stuff. We can go down the list. First of all, everyone should not be eligible to be a police officer. That's the first thing. Okay.
It takes longer to be a teacher than to be a police officer.
But there's so many things here, and everyone shouldn't be eligible. So we can start just on a sexual level. Right? Men and women react to things differently. So that doesn't mean that women should not be police officers, but you should look at, there's men who can't handle stress either at all. And there's women that can handle stress way better than most men. So when you're dealing with people, you have to this is a stressful job, right? And if you take this job, I think that you're taking this job knowing that you're going into a dangerous job and you might not go home. So even even right there is a problem. Even before that, let's think about this. Maybe everyone should be able to defend themselves everywhere. Then we wouldn't need to have like everyone be a police officer. Then when we have police officers, we screen them and we think about who they are. Can they handle stress? Okay, they can handle the stress now. All right, let's train them. Let's make sure they're properly educated, trained, compensated for the risks that they take, and so on. Let's not have police officers there trying to justify their existence by going around just messing with people and then creating circumstances where things are going to go wrong. There's a ton of stuff. In my case, Rod, you brought up my case. You know, there was, if anyone, people, I know a lot of people look at that story. There's a black family that every year, I didn't know this because I live here, I go about my business, I make videos, and there's a black family that every year on Easter Sunday, they have parties and there's a whole bunch of people, and those people that come into those parties go and rob stores and do this thing and do that thing. And so the police department's way of dealing with that is go out there and pull over every black person that drives down like a main highway, right? Not the road right next to where these guys are having their party, a main highway that everyone has to go through that to go about their business and do what they're doing. So that's how they got into that situation with me. That's not a way to deal with a situation like that.
Right.
That's not the way to deal with that situation. So
that's borderline harassment.
Right, exactly. And something was bound to happen. And probably the best thing that could happen, I don't know, Ryan went super dark now.
He's in the dark.
His beard is not glowing. But you know, the best way to deal with that situation, well, there's several ways to deal with that, but there wasn't the best way that they went about it, to just pull everyone over that's going down this road. And that's probably the best thing that could happen. That could have gone a lot worse. And after I put up that video, those guys got retrained, all kinds of stuff happened. But I was looking for them to do that again every year, and they didn't. Because if they did it again every year, I would go in there and let's see, like, okay, let's see who they're pulling over all the time. You know, if you look at the video, there's other people that pulled over with me and they let those people go. I was in the middle. Someone was behind me, someone was in front of me, but they were specifically going after me. So all those kinds of things are unnecessary things that you have happening that create circumstances that things go wrong. You know?
And also, to piggyback on that, you got to ask yourself this. Like, okay, I carry. You as a black man, you carry. Now, think about this. What if you would have had, you would have been carrying while you had a gun in your waistband while you got stopped? Think about how that could have went wrong.
Yeah, I was carrying. I did have a gun in my.
Now, I can't remember the video, but did you inform a police officer that you?
Yeah, I did. I did.
Okay. Well, now, what was their reaction when you did that?
He wanted to disarm me.
Okay, so did he disarm you?
Yeah, he did.
Okay, okay. And how did they do it? Did they say, what did they say to you, and what procedures did they go through when doing that?
Well, they, you know, technically, if I wasn't committing a crime or getting arrested, then they, you know, they didn't have the right to disarm me. They asked me, they tried several ways because they said they didn't feel comfortable. I told them that I didn't feel comfortable. You know, they were in body armor and stuff like that, and I didn't feel comfortable. But ultimately, I let them disarm me, right? Because, you know, I didn't want to get into a whole thing and start carrying on about my rights and all that kind of stuff versus just going home. That's one of the things they got retrained over, because if I wasn't committing a crime, if I wasn't getting arrested, and I was legally, if I had a CCW, they didn't need to disarm me. And if I say, hey, I don't want to be disarmed, they're supposed to leave it there. But obviously, this particular guy kept going. You know, I have friends, I know people that are on that police department. Okay, and I talk to them all the time about this. And honestly, that guy was just being a dick. It's like, you know, it's like I told you, there's some dudes, most of the people in police departments are good dudes, man. I see these guys all the time. I live there. I see these guys all the time. That was like one time that there was a thing that happened, and it's just the way that that guy dealt with the situation. And if I decided to be a dick, now you have a perfect storm of dicks. Right? And
but you gotta ask yourself this.
Go on in that situation.
You gotta ask yourself this though. Okay, it's all right. Okay, if one guy's a dick, okay, cool. All right. But if you got everybody behind him supporting him, now you got a whole bunch of dicks. So, and that's where I think this situation comes in with policing, and because a lot of guys don't want to cross that thin blue line. Okay, they don't want to get to the point where they're the one that outed somebody. Okay, because you got to understand that you may need that guy next to you to defend your life. At any point. Okay, but the main thing is also you cannot support this guy either. So they have to police themselves within their own ranks. Okay, first before anything, because you can put all the rules and regulations out there. Body cameras. Anybody ever wonder why now that, hey, body cameras suspiciously all of a sudden they get turned off? Okay. Cameras on the front of the police car. Another thing they do now is, I'm not saying all police do this, but if you're looking to do something where that's not going to be ethical, raise the hood. I mean, there's just different things that the police have to police themselves first. When I was growing up, we used to have a cop that used to always come into the class, and we called him, his name was Officer Friendly. Okay, he would come out, pass out candy, and we were, as a kid, my generation in the 70s, hell, we thought police officers were cool and friendly. They get to drive fast, man. They get to have all kind of blue sirens going. That's what we thought about police and I grew up in the hood. Okay, I didn't grow up in suburbia. I grew up in the hood. But it depends on each department, basically. And I majored in criminal justice in college. Community policing is absolutely imperative. When it comes to policing your community. We had a sheriff here in Jacksonville where it was mandatory that I think maybe once a month that his police officers get out of their car, their squad car, and they walk the neighborhood and they greet and they talk to different people. And so everybody knows you. Okay. So you're not just this guy that's riding around in the car and the windows are up and nobody knows you. You don't know them. They don't know you. Yeah. The best thing that, when you like Andy Griffith. Okay. And I know that's a fictional character. Okay. But everybody in Mayberry knew who Andy was. Okay. Just like your community. If you're a police officer, everybody in your community should know who you are. Okay. Yeah.
I agree with you. I think that there's multiple things that you have to do to change situations like this. There's multiple people that have to be involved in it, but and we obviously can't solve it here, but let's just look at a couple of things. Let me ask this question, but I'm not going to ask you first, Rod, because obviously you don't have any problem speaking. We got to get, we can't discriminate against the gingers here too much. YouTube could definitely strike us for that. So I'm going to ask
the ultimate minority, sir. Thank you very much.
Yes. So let me ask Ryan this first. Ryan, do you think it would let's just talk about a couple of things that would make a difference. Do you think it would, like these kinds of situations would make a difference in a community if the people who lived in the community were the ones who were in the police department? So in other words, let's say we're talking about a Black community here or a Latino community. Predominantly, if the people on the police force were predominantly Latino or Black, do you think that would make a difference?
I mean, it would help slightly, but like I said, I think it all goes back into the organizational mindset. How are you training these police? Because you'd have any kind of color skin and still be corrupt. That's obvious. Yeah. So I mean,
you could still be a bully. You could still like
absolutely. People. And I think, like I said, when you don't properly screen who you're letting in and being police, it's like if you don't do like a full, hey, was this guy an asshole in high school, college, et cetera, et cetera. If you don't do a proper check on these people, oh well, he didn't commit any crimes, and you do like a 5-minute sit down for a psychological profile, and anyone can tell you, he's like you can lie your ass off for 5 minutes if you're good enough. But if it's known and this guy has issues of authoritative issues where he needs to be in control, like if you have these people that get into the door and it's obvious because they're making mistakes on the street and probably somewhere along the line when they are doing the vetting of these people, somebody screwed up somewhere and says this guy shouldn't be a cop. Or it's the fact of, well, we need cops and these people are the only ones that are showing up. Well, I'm sorry. somewhere along the line, you need to either pay them more to get the right people that were willing to sacrifice or willing to put themselves in harm's way for other people. And the fact of you have to stop with like these diversity hires. That's like, well, it needs to be so many black people, so many gay people. And I'm sorry, this
so
might
many
offend
women,
some people, so many women. And like, I'm sorry, if you need the right people to do the job, and if that offends people, you have to understand it's not a normal. Hey, it's not an office environment you're going into. You're having to enforce the law against people that want to break it. This is a completely different environment. This is not. You're going to work for an insurance company. That I understand. Okay, that's a private organization, but this is a government organization which handles criminals. This is a completely indifferent
in which you authorize the people to kill. Because
absolutely,
once you get to the point where someone gets killed, it is very difficult to get a conviction on that person because they are a police officer. Right. And they're somewhat indemnified to kill people. But you don't want them to just go out there willy nilly thinking they're James Bond and let's kill everyone. You want them to do that when they need to. Right. When they have to. But you don't want to create these these type of situations that people are talking about. But regardless of what you do, regardless of who polices a community, if you have an all-black community and you have an all-black police department, some people are going to get killed. And some people are going to get killed justly, and some people are going to get killed unjustly. So I think ultimately all of this has to start with people policing themselves and policing their own communities, or us people in general having. It's like here in Florida, right? There's not massive police departments like you would find in New York City, for example. There maybe, in some communities in Florida, like if you're in West Palm Beach or Miami, there's a crap ton of police officers, but for the most part, it's not massive police departments. Okay, when you have massive police departments, these guys are looking for a way to rationalize why they exist. But you got to you have to start dealing with those kinds of things, I think, if you're going to change anything. Rod, do you think that if you had a community, for example, black community, if you had black police officers, do you think all of this stuff would go away?
Hell, you can look at Atlanta. I mean, the majority of their police department is black, and the majority of Atlanta, Georgia, is black. They still have police shootings there. I mean, people still get killed. Now, I can't remember seeing in the news where it was any high-profile cases where anybody got killed unjustly. But you know what? You probably won't see that because guess what? The media doesn't. That doesn't do anything for the media. Oh, a black cop killed another a black citizen. That doesn't give you ratings. And you got to understand also, again, money. Okay, what drives viewers? Controversy. These type things. Hell, look at school shootings. Yeah. You don't get a lot of. We had, matter of fact, let me just give you guys a story. My high school, we had an instructor. There was a fight on campus, and one of the relatives of the kids that were fighting came on campus with a gun, a lady. Okay. And one of the teachers was trying to break up the fight and noticed the adult there with their hand in a bag and noticed the gun in there. So what the teacher did was remove the adult with the gun. And then at that point, the school resource officer came and intervened. But you don't hear about stuff like that. I mean, because guess what? That's not gonna. That's the media has a rating system called sweeps every year. I'm sure you heard of that. And sweeps is how they're determined upon how many viewers they get and how good or how bad they are. Okay, so things like that that doesn't drive ratings. It doesn't drive viewerships. Only when you get some kid or somebody where they did a mass shooting and nobody saved anybody,
So I mean, I agree with you. I think that the media doesn't cover things. I saw here, and it's the same thing when it comes to stand your ground. I mean, if you have a stand your ground case here where a white guy kills a black person, and it's a stand your ground case, everyone says take down stand your ground. Stand your ground keeps a lot of black people in Florida from going to jail. And there was a story here in Gainesville where you know, this black couple, a guy was trying to break into their hotel room, ex-boyfriend or something like that, and the guy shot him. The guy in the hotel room shot him, killed him, and he never went to jail. They didn't even take his gun from him because of stand your ground. But that's not going to make national news because everyone involved is black. So how come then we don't have these celebrities, you know, people like Kaepernick? How come they don't boycott? How come they don't take a knee when someone puts a camera in their face or a microphone? Why don't they used to talk to the media until the media starts dealing with something or doing this properly? Why do they go against the thing that ultimately represents what gives us the freedoms?
Also, you got to understand this: the gun deaths that are happening in major cities like Chicago and St. Louis, you hardly ever hear. I mean, you may hear about that on the last page of a newspaper, so to speak, tongue in cheek. Okay, because that doesn't drive viewership. Yeah, nobody cares about that,
and no one talks about that. That is people who look like each other killing each other.
Right, exactly. So that doesn't drive any type of ratings, anything. I can guarantee you there are more people dying in the streets of Chicago than there are. It dwarfs the amount of mass shootings in schools. Okay,
easily.
Yeah,
absolutely. You know, let me take a quick break here to do some stuff, please, guys. If you think we're having a good conversation here, give us some thumbs up. If you hate us, you can thumbs down us too. We got more than a few thumbs down. It's fine. It's fine. You know, we'll take it. I'm okay with it. You know, but if you can, give us some thumbs ups. We appreciate it. I think we have close to 200 people watching right now, so we can definitely get to 200 thumbs ups. The other thing I want to do, Brian Quick had a good comment here, so I just want to, you know, I'm not ignoring. We're kind of having like a nice brisk conversation, a polite way of putting it here. Brian Quick says he's a bail bonding agent / recovery, and he has a little different perception of crime. We've made almost everything illegal, including walking across the street in the wrong spot. So how much does that play in a lot of what's going on here? Like every damn thing is illegal.
Hank, I'm gonna tell you this, man. This is my cell phone. Now, what's looking at the cell phone? What do you see?
I see me reflected in your cell phone.
Well, besides you, Ryan, you also too. Tell me, what do you guys see when you see the cell phone?
Me?
No, I mean other than your reflection.
No, I'm just. What are we missing? I don't know. What are we missing?
Just. You know what? I always make sure that all of my cell phones are white, because what I don't want to do is get stopped by the police and I have my cell phone with me. Maybe I need to call somebody. I don't want them to mistake this for a gun.
Right.
So I purposely buy white cell phones. And now, will it help in the long run? Who knows?
So you are racist against cell phones?
Yes. If it saves my life, yes, I will buy a white cell
I don't know if that saved anyone.
And you know, it's just my thinking, because I got a battery charger, an Anchor battery charger. I do not carry that battery charger on me unless I have like a book bag, because I'm paranoid. Call me paranoid all you want to, but I don't want to. If I ever get shot and killed by the police, understand this. It ain't because Rod had a cell phone that looks like a damn gun. I can tell you that now. Okay. That will never happen there.
Yeah, I wonder how many people out there are doing that, buying the white cell phones.
But I can tell you this though. Every day that I get in my car, and Hank, you see my car, I got black tinted windows, you know. And when I carry, I took a page out of Coleon Noir. When I carry my gun, I carry it like in between my seat and my console. And it sticks there. And I got like a little cheap Uncle Mike holster that I keep it in. But I keep a towel over it, like a face towel. Because basically, if you got to think about this, it's now concealed. You can't drive around in a gun in Florida without having your weapon concealed. By me having a towel over that gun conceals my weapon. Okay, but what I don't want to do is be at nighttime driving. Let's say I get stopped for running a stop sign or speeding or whatever, which I probably won't do much. But let's say I get stopped. You know, I talk to my police friends. I say, hey, you know what? Keep my hands on 10 and 2 on the steering wheel. You know, I don't go looking for my driver license. If I don't have my driver license before they get out that car, hey, it's staying where it is. Okay. I teach my daughter the same thing. I turn the radio off. If I have it on, I turn the engine off. I roll the window down, both windows, because I don't know if they're coming on the left or the right side. Keep my hands on the steering wheel. I'm looking straight ahead. When the officer comes up to me, I'm looking at them. Officer, how you doing? And he will let me know what happened. And I will then at that point determine if I need to let them know if I have a gun in the car. If they ask me for it, if I have a gun, I will let them know, officer, it is right here. How do you want to handle this? Actually, I got that from Masad Ayub as well, regarding him. And, you know, he came up, he had a seminar and I went to it. Good guy, very informational. And, you know, I always remember how they did. Now, I'm going to say the shooting with the guy in the teacher up in Minnesota, Fernando Castro, that could have been prevented on both sides. Okay. You know, on Fernando's side, he should have had his hands on the steering wheel. I wouldn't have given the officer any chance to even get scared, because a lot of these cops out here are scared now. Okay. Oh,
absolutely.
So I don't want you scared when you come to me, because, hey, I weigh 235 pounds. You know, I'm pretty good shape, you know, so like, you know, if I say so myself, and, you know, but I'm whatever.
Okay.
But I don't want them to think that I'm a threat to them. You know, when I talk to cops, I'm talking to them like I'm talking to you guys. Oh, so, you know, blah, blah, you know, and then I'll even drop things. Hey, you know, I'm a firearms instructor. Yeah, you know, I've trained different officers here locally that have now cops, okay, that couldn't pass the shooting test. I've trained them up. And I say, oh, yeah, you know, so I'll name drop. Oh, yeah, I know him. Yeah, that's a good buddy, man. I taught him how to blah, blah, this and that, you know. So I want to I want to de-escalate them before they even get to the point where I want them to feel comfortable around me. I want them to know that, hey, this is a good guy in this car. This guy is a law-abiding citizen. He's not trying to do anything wrong. He's not doing anything illegal. I want to go home. He wants to go home. We do whatever we need to do to make sure that both of us go home, and we go from that. Okay. I got stopped by a state trooper. You know, there used to be a time I say, hey, yeah, you know, I'm former in law enforcement, and I use the word former. And they said, oh, really? What department? I said I was a military police officer. Like, really? Where were you stationed at? You know, now, and I know that they're trying to, you know, pick me to see, you know, if I'm just lying, you know, but I'll drop things on them. And anybody in the military that was former military, I'm giving them information that only they would know. And then at that point, they'll say, oh, okay, I'm not trying to get out of a ticket. I'm just trying to get home. You know,
right. Okay. Yeah, I think, you know, we can talk about this forever. It's a complicated situation. Obviously, there's lots of solutions to it. One thing I want to remind people that a lot of these things are separate. So when these streams start crossing where people want to take away freedoms to fix stuff, that's what we have to look out for. That's what we have to be worried about, you know, and that's pretty much my take on it. You know what? Let's change gears here a little bit and talk about some gun rights across America stuff. Have you heard of gun rights across America before, Rod?
I think I heard you say it.
Oh, okay. All right.
That ain't the GOA, is it?
No, that's a completely different thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's Gun Owners of America.
I'm a GOA member, and
yeah.
You know,
so what's the difference? Tell us, Ryan. What's the difference between an organization like GOA versus what is it? GRAA.
There you go. Well, we're much more social media based. I mean, and plus we're newer, so we're a bit younger based versus some of the older organizations. You know, they've been around for a while, but they're not as, like I say, fluid. You know, they're very much established. So what's nice about us is that since, you know, people don't have a preconceived opinion about us, so we can basically come in and say, hey, here's what we're about, and then basically realize, you know, we're on their side versus we're not just trying to make, you know, money. No offense, NRA, but you know, we want basically the way the Constitution is supposed to be, which is maximum freedom, versus, you know, having a permanent process going away. You know, we're pretty transparent in the way we usually operate, because we're, you know, you can see our page, you can see who we are, but we're a small group. But like I said, our biggest thing is making sure people are educated in their areas. So rather than saying, okay, well, give us all your money and then we're going to fight for you. That's not the way we operate. We get people basically fighting for their own selves and basically be self-sufficient, versus just say, okay, you know, here you go, someone else go fight for me. That's how we're different.
Right. Yeah, and I think that we need that, right? We need one. We need multiple people fighting the war on multiple fronts. But you know, we keep alluding to it. There's lots of organizations that have been here for a long time. I don't think they're really reflective of who we are today and the way that we look at things, and that's fine. You know, there's some old fuddy-duddies out there who don't get it. That's fine. You know, I think we understand that. Now, what's the organizational structure of Gun Rights Across America? Like, who's heading it up? What's going on here?
Well, it's basically, well, Eric Reeds was a founder. He spearheaded the whole thing, and then he's handed off to a husband and wife couple, Waylon and Shannon. So they're running the show right now, and I'm basically the social media guy that handles, you know, interviews and whatnot when we talk to media. And then we have a bunch of other state organizers that help in local areas that try to get contacts for whether it be, you know, all over the country for the most part. So whenever someone contacts us, we try to get in touch with our state people, because they're much more aware of what's going on in their area, obviously, because it'd be impossible for someone to realize everything going on, you know, 50 different states and 50 different laws, and then completely, you know, 50 different ways of the political environment. So
yeah,
we have our state organizers that basically run those state organizations. And then basically, you know, once we filter out, okay, once they contact us, here's our problem. And then we kind of shoot them to the state organization people. And then they, you know, try to formulate a plan, and then go from there.
Yeah. So if you're looking up Gun Rights Across America, you can look on Facebook. I know that. So there's the main organization, the mothership. I don't know what you guys call it other than that.
I mean, it's just the, you know, our Gun Rights. We don't really have a nickname for it.
Yeah. There's the big one, and then you have all these ones that represent different states. So you got Florida, you know, Utah. I think you've got all the 50 states at this point.
We're pretty covered. Yeah. I mean, because we have some of our regions too, because, you know, different areas. Like I said, if you're in the Northeast, that's pretty much a whole black cloud, as I like to call it, because there's just not much freedom going on there. And then, of course, the West Coast, and specifically California. I mean, that's, oh, wow. Yeah. That's a pickle unto itself. There's
only one solution for California, separation from the rest of the country. By James Bond villain style, blowing up the fault lines. Yeah.
But now, for different areas of the country, we try to get people, like I said, ingrained with that community, because they are aware, or usually, of, you know, who's your state rep, who's your senators, state senators, who's your governor. I mean, you'd be surprised who people don't even know the basic people who's running stuff in their area. So, you know, once we get people up to date, other than they use that, well, I don't like this, such and such happening. Like my state is doing this, you know, bill is going on. So we, you know, try to do our research on our end. Say, okay, who are they affiliated with? What's their situation? Are they up for election? Are they, you know, what is their status? You know, what party are they in? You know, because parties, what we figured out is, just because you're Republican or Democrat doesn't necessarily mean that you're on, you know, on the red team or the blue team. You know, because we're, especially in Texas here, we have people that are Republicans, but not so much. You know,
rhinos.
Exactly. So they exist. So we try to, when we get those people educated, and then of course they have friends that they talk to. They have, you know, other people, like, say, because usually, you know, when you're a gun person, you're going to have friends, family, group, whatever, you know. And so if you can get people energized, saying, okay, we're not going to take this, you know, standing around anymore, and then you get people also organized in their state capital, because a lot of people don't realize a lot of things go on at the state capitol that affect all of these little bills. And then it sucks, but like I said, you have to do it at your grassroots level, because you know, just sending emails to your politicians is not going to get it done. You know, politicians do not like it when you show up to their offices raising hell. They do not, because for the most part, they like sitting there doing their speeches, collecting money. But if they realize, oh, all of a sudden you're showing up and be like, I have to waste my time on these people with, with the gun rights, they're like, oh, then they have to realize, oh, this is our constituents. We have to deal with these people. So now, you have to become a thorn in the side with these people. And once we get people to courage, because part of the problem is they might get angry, but they're not willing to do anything because, it's just like they're afraid to. But we try to encourage people. It's like, it's your right as a citizen to fight for your rights. Do not let these people bully you into just accepting, whatever legislation they're pushing through.
Yeah, absolutely. So what is the way, I know we talked about this a little bit in the beginning, what's the way that you guys want people to get involved with the organization? Is it through Facebook? Do you have .coms or .orgs?
Well, the website is kind of in flux right now, but best way, like I said, our Facebook and our Twitter are best absolute ways to do it, because everyone can get on those and talk to us, like, no problem. And then, we'll respond as soon as we can. And if they have an issue. So those are our two best ways, on our Facebook page and our Twitter page. Yeah.
And so if there's people out there, because I see some questions, people want to know, like, what have you guys done? What kind of stuff do you guys do to help out the cause?
Well, right now,
what is this Rod Mills is showing?
That's
showing the page. Yeah, the main page has the GRAA flag, and then the other pages have some different icons, right?
Hey, Ryan.
Yes,
real
sir.
Quick. Is that a CZ you got on your page?
That's a Beretta, I believe.
Is that a Beretta? Oh, damn, that looks nice. Damn. Okay.
All right.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And we are going to go to some guns. I hope everyone here has some guns. We'll show off some guns here in a minute.
Absolutely.
Go ahead,
Ryan.
Yeah, go ahead, Ryan. So if people want to know what you guys have done.
Well, I mean, when we first started kicking off, like right after Sandy Hook, we had a big organization, probably like 2013, 2014, I believe, when we did our big rally in Philadelphia. And that's what we're kind of most known by, is from there, when we had speakers come out at the time. Because really at that time, they're really trying to push, a bunch of assault weapons bans, all the gimmicks they usually do in other states, but especially in a lot of what you consider purple states, where they're like, especially in Philadelphia and the Northeast corridor. Because after Sandy Hook, people were like, okay, well, anti-gunners were like, okay, we can finally push all of the wish list of anti-gun things through. So, us and a few other groups that, especially in the area, were basically put together different rallies, trying to get people organized on the same day. So, I mean, like I said, we're known for that. We're not as, like I said, financially, because we're a volunteer group, so we don't have the big money groups like some of these other groups can do. But like I said, that's what we're mainly known for, is, like I said, our grassroots organization. So,
and do you guys take in money? Do you take in money, or this is just basically like an activist thing?
It's activists, most of it. So, I mean, we, like, when we were first starting out, we were doing it through money, but we realized at the time, Obama was really hankering down on organizations, with the whole IRS scandal. So we found it a lot easier to people to volunteer their time more so than money, because I think that gets a lot more results done more so than money, because footsteps, versus just cash is not going to get the job done.
Right. Okay. So. And so this is this, everyone who's here is a volunteer. Are you a volunteer? Do you do something else to make a living?
No, it's basically, if it's basically like it's like a hobby or second job. It's like, if your rights matter to you, you will sacrifice what's necessary to push for your rights. And that's the way we've kind of see it. If you join our group or represent our group, it's part of volunteer time into doing this. So
okay, go ahead.
Oh, it does. If we're going to, what they're saying in your local area, that's why whoever contacts us, we try to basically make them either, a representative for that situation, or we find someone who willing is, because until that problem goes, they're solved, we need someone there all the time. Because you didn't say, okay, well, here you go. This is a problem. Bye. No, you have to have someone on the issue. So like I said, a lot of our school districts here, like, will continuously push, these stupid anti-gun things where we're not going to have it. But if we can pressure these school districts into allowing laws that are already in the books, we're slowly but surely on that front. But especially when it comes to state legislation, whether it be further background checks, is they love pushing the what is it? Oh, sorry, I remember. The universal background checks or gun show legislation. That's a lot of the thing people get through. So depending on every state's a little different. Like I said, we try to get people that are organized into handling that in their area, and then like getting them educated so they start their own grassroots. I guess get their group, the friends and family into what they need to do versus because we can't do that. But like I said, if they give their time to push up their area, then get others involved. That's what we try to do. We just basically educate, energize them on their issues.
Right. Absolutely. So let me just remind everyone to click the thumbs ups. Okay. Let's get those going. I think we still have a chance of getting to 200. Ryan, right now we're gonna do some gun stuff. We're gonna show off some guns, but right now, what's the biggest thing that the audience out there, people listening to this live right now or later on, what's the biggest thing they can do to help out gun rights across America and the Second Amendment in general in America?
I mean, really, it's just if you follow us and then get others interested. I mean, the biggest thing is educate people around you about their rights, because most people are so ignorant about what their rights are about, and then basically enforcing that others. And it's kind of like a virus. Once you get one person infected and you spread it that way, and then if they join us, and then we'll basically keep them energized and pushing for their rights rather than saying, okay, well, this is just more than a hobby. It's like, no. Your rights are attacked every single day for those that want to do it. So you have to be vigilant and in pushing for that. So like I said, if they follow us on our websites, we try to push out here and keeping themselves educated, and they can educate others, because that's what we do. We try to educate ourselves and then also spread the message towards others. So if they basically let them people know about us, and then they can stay. And then it's like I said, the way grassroots work is like you let one person know, and then let another person know, and then word of mouth, you start keeping people that'll stand for their own rights. Basically.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you want to do something, follow gun rights across America. I would follow the national one and whatever your local chapter is, or if you're in Florida, follow Florida or the regional, as Ryan said. Okay, I know that Rod Mills, he's itching here to show some guns. Ryan, I'm sure you got some guns you want to show off there. Absolutely. Rod, we'll let you go first, Rod.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'm going to go against the Hank Strange, the way he does things. I'm going to show some ammo. Okay. So this is what we call snake shot. For those folks in those warm weather states, this is great for getting rid of those little boogers, those little snakes when you're cutting the grass, or you happen to let the door open and you come outside and there's a nice little water moccasin or copperhead there, or rattlesnake. That's something really good to go ahead and get rid of them. Okay. Yeah,
especially with all the rain that we've had recently on the eastern seaboard. People here in Florida seeing a lot of snakes out there. You call it snake shot. I've heard people call it rat shot or
rat shot. Yep.
Yeah, there's lots of names like that.
This is 38 millimeter. I'm sorry, not 38 millimeter. 38 special. Here, they're not as good in semi-automatic weapons, but they're really good in revolvers.
Absolutely. Pretty much it's going to be like a single shot. You're going to have to do a lot of racking, but hey, yeah. So, okay. Very cool. That was your Gorn that you were showing.
Yeah, that was my Gorn. Just a little bit different. I'm switching it up.
Okay. All right. I respect that. I'm not going to argue with you on that. All right. So what you got, Ryan? You're mute. I don't know. Are you muted? Is Ryan muted?
There you go.
Uh-huh.
So
that's nice.
Basically my barbecue gun, which is a Taurus 1911 that I customized with all Wilson combat parts. So it's my shiny toy piece. I wore it at the NRA show.
Is that like a walrus then?
A walrus?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a Wilson, like there's a Taurus, but with Wilson combat.
Not sure. I have never good name. It's always been my pimp handle gun because, like I said, it's my shiny piece with the gold accent. So it's always been my pimp gun.
Oh, okay, very cool. It looks great. Looks great.
Oh yeah.
Can I see it again, Brian?
Sure.
Oh man, lock that in, Hank.
Yeah, I got it locked.
Damn,
I like the gold accents on there.
Do you is it a safe queen or do you ever go shoot?
It is a safe queen. It's too
Shame
shiny.
on you. Shame on you.
Hey, it gets out occasionally, okay? You know.
Shame on you. You're a 1911 type of guy.
Absolutely. Well, I do it just for this one, but usually I'm a Walther guy. That's my everyday carry. So Walther PPSN2. Oh, that too. That's the winter carry.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Okay,
gotcha.
Very cool. Very cool. Did you have some other thing?
That's the one I have right now.
That's the only Gorn you guys have?
Okay. Wait. 1 second. Okay.
All right.
For all you Glock 43 guys, I will say that I have the Terran Tactical extended base pad on my my carry. And so, you know, I like Terran Tactical. I told Terran Butler at the NRA that I carry his product. I got the HydroShock here round hollow point. So there you go. So
yeah.
So I'm sticking with ammo.
Do you go over to the Terran Tactical or Terran Tactical, whatever you want to call it? Do you go over to that booth for the cool guns and accessories, or do you go over there for the hot chicks? Be honest.
No.
Don't lie, Rod.
No. Terran's girls don't have no booty. You know, I gotta have some booty. You know, they're cute. They are cute, but they're real slim. They're like cheerleaders. And so, you know, for me, you know, I like booty and hips. You know, I mean, you come on. Hank,
sound like you need to develop your own fan squad. Is what you need.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I bet you he's over there trying to quiz them, see if they're really gun chicks.
Well, no, actually, they are. Well, some of them are because I actually subscribe to his YouTube channel.
Yeah, some of them have gotten in trouble for not being, but I'm just saying.
Oh, really? But yeah,
you probably might not have heard about that because your brain gets a little fuzzy when there's women involved.
Yeah, but
like the rest of us.
He does have some nice looking chicks on his videos that actually shoot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so.
Yeah, every now and then. I think a couple months ago there was one that got busted out there. That's not really like a full.
What was she doing?
He fired him. He fired. No, she said some remarks that were un-2A.
Oh,
basically.
Wow. Oh, okay. He fired her?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. So, and listen, I think they have some cool things. So that's, you know, Treadhead 44 says Taurus Safe Queen does not compute.
It does when you put enough money into it. Okay.
Yes. When you listen, if you take a high point and drop a couple grand on it, that high point's going to stay in the safe too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless you're Patrick R, then I don't know.
Yeah, Patrick R. Yeah.
Yeah. And Screaming Skull Saloon says Jade Struck is hot though. Is that one of Terran Tactical's? Oh, okay. I don't even know. I have to go look up Jade Struck. Okay. What's her name? Jade Struck? Okay. Jade Struck. Okay, let's look. This must be this is research, Lola. Let's This
is seeing what she said.
Ryan and Rod made me do this. It's not me.
Absolutely. We'll totally take the blame.
Hey, you've got to get Ryan and Patrick R on the show one night together.
Oh yeah, sure.
Man, it's kind of like when I hear Ryan talk, it's like almost hearing Patrick R.
She's cute. I like the cat eyes kind of thing. Yeah, she looks cute and playful and fun or whatever. Okay, I see where you guys are. Where you guys are coming from.
Mm-hmm.
I give some level of cuteness going on there. Can't knock it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he don't have any ugly women out there. I'll tell you that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't do ugly out there.
Yeah.
It's Hollywood, man. It's Hollywood. So you gotta bring the A game.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's. Someone Lola says, "Research my eye." Yeah. All right, so let me see. I'm gonna pull up something here. I was showing this yesterday for anyone that was watching. There you go. Check this out. I don't know if you've seen one of these.
Safety Harbor.
Before. There you go, Ryan. This is actually a pistol, Ryan. So check this out.
Safety Harbor.
This is a 50 BMG pistol right here with the see this is the tail hook on it from Safety Harbor Firearms. This is the Safety Harbor.
That's the Walther
SHTF 50. Walter doesn't believe in naming anything with those kinds of names, so it should be the Hank, but okay. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure
Damn.
somewhere you can add some personalized touches to it and make it the Hank.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's good. Yeah. At some point, I'm going to convince him to. So this is like 12-inch barrel, 50 BMG, magazine fed, and bolt action.
Is that considered a? Oh, that's a pistol. Okay, so they
Yeah.
don't care about the length. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So, and if you want to know if I could fire this standing, I've done it. I've got video of me like standing and using the tail hook to fire this. So pretty cool. I would put a laser. I'll put a laser on there. That would be.
Hey, how much is a box of ammo for that 50 BMG? Or Ryan, you may know too.
It's probably $10 a shot at last I checked. So.
Yeah. Well, no, I've seen 50 BMG like around $5 around.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
You can probably get it. I saw someone was asking about something on Big Daddy Unlimited. I know we did check to see that you can get 50 on Big Daddy Unlimited. Also, there's reloading supplies and stuff like that on there. I forgot what it was someone wanted to know from there. If Lola's in there, ask Lola. Lola can look it up for you.
Come on, Lola.
What specifically you were looking for, but it's around $5. Sometimes you can get it for like $4, or you can reload.
Lola, do it.
Yeah, so there you go. Let me see. What else do I have?
Hey, what is that? Is that a CZ back there?
Yeah, this is a CZ. There you go. There's a CZ.
I would have sex with CZ.
You would have sex with this?
Yes.
So where's this CZ going?
I would be. Oh no! See, it's not going in.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just curious of the mechanics of the engineering of the sex that you're going to be having.
I would fondle it. Let's see. Let's change it.
Oh, I see. Okay. You sexually abuse one.
I would oil my body up and I'll rub it against my chest.
Wow. Okay, that's way too much information, right there.
That's a TMI, brother.
Yeah. But this is I haven't shot this either. We need to get out to the range and shoot some more guns sometime soon here. But there you go.
Anytime
and now this gun is scared of Rod Mills, so
I will get you.
Better stay in the same room with that at all times.
Yeah, exactly. And this is my Steyr right here. So
Steyr.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, I was looking at YouTube the other day, and isn't the Belgians, isn't it their main gun, their rifle?
Maybe.
Belgium?
Yeah, there's lots of European military that use hogs or bullpups and stuff like that. There's probably some forces in England that use it. Who?
I know what it was. I did a top 10, a search for top 10 assault rifles, and that was in the top 10 out of all assault rifles. And I think it was like number
assault rifles.
Well, whatever. There he is.
I got your assault rifle right here, man. I'm not really sure what you're talking about.
Military rifles.
Yeah, one an assault rifle. There's some salt in this one. That's fully loaded and totally dangerous. But
you know what? That reminds me, man. I was in Subway yesterday, and a fly got on my sub while they were making it.
Oh my goodness, that's a violation.
Yeah, so I made them. Hey, look, I'm not eating that. You guys got to give me another sub.
Let me tell you something, Rod Mills. If you were in Africa, you'd be happy to get some some flies on your sub.
Oh, really?
Okay. I couldn't resist that one. I couldn't resist. Sorry.
Hank, you're the same. I know you didn't eat any subs with flies on them.
Listen, dude, you've eaten with me when we were eating out on the hacienda. There was no flies out on the hacienda. Yeah, exactly.
It was the mosquitoes out there.
It's okay when it's barbecue, I guess. Okay.
Yeah, Gabe was getting ate up. He was. Hey, Ryan, I'm gonna tell you this story. Gabe is Asian, so we had all nationalities out there. Why was Gabe the only one getting bit up by mosquitoes? Everybody else is around there looking at him like, "What the hell is going on?"
Because those country ass mosquitoes I have are like, this is tasty.
This is tasty.
Yeah,
it's a delicacy.
We're having some Filipino cooking today.
Shrimp fried rice.
They're like, we don't want none of this regular blood.
We've had y'all before.
Yeah, it's a little spicy.
I had to break out the damn the deep was all for him.
Yeah, I felt sorry for him. He's a good guy. And luckily he wasn't wearing suits. He usually wears suits, trust me. But he might have been more protected if he had a suit on.
Yeah, you're
You
right.
might have to duct tape the legs. That way the flies don't crawl up there. You know.
Yeah. And he's always outdoor. Gabe actually, so that's one of the young guys that I work with. Gabe actually is a shooter. He does a lot of shooting and stuff like that. So, you know, there you go.
Hey,
shout out to him. What's up?
Hey, you got to send Ryan the video about when I was down there when I put Gabe through the little course.
Oh, you were making them do cardio? Yeah. If you look on the channel, Ryan, it's like something cardio.
Mm-hmm.
So classified information said the mosquitoes were hungry again an hour later.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm sure Gabe has heard all of these jokes. There you go. There you go. He's a good kid. I'll be probably working for Gabe in another couple of years, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, believe it or not, he owns his own company. He's got his stuff together for. I think Gabe is like 20. What is he? 21 or 22? Almost 22. So shout out to him. He's buying his first condo.
Oh,
soon here. So
I thought you said condom.
Condom? No, I don't think. I don't think he's ever gotten one of those.
What's a condom? What? No.
Yeah. So Screaming Skull Saloon said that video, he's talking about the video, was hilarious. Babyface P needs to throw away those skinny jeans. Oh my goodness. Okay, yeah. I hope I remember that comment because that was funny. Yeah, they were trying to get me to do that. Nope. And trust me, I've done all the cardio stuff. So.
Oh, I thought you meant wear skinny leg jeans.
Oh no, I don't think so.
You're not doing that either.
Opt out of gun control said at Scorched Earth Firearms Training, YouTube's new policies made me take down my videos with you and Babyface. Really? That's interesting.
I wonder why. We didn't do anything illegal on there. I mean, not illegal, but you know, against their policies. Maybe they didn't want to see Babyface about to pass out. That may have been a policy.
That's interesting. Yeah. Oh, because you guys were shooting the echo triggers. That's why.
No, we didn't. He was.
Were they shooting echo triggers? No. Yeah, they were shooting handguns.
Yeah, handguns.
Oh, so when him.
Okay.
So probably he put all, instead of making those individual videos, he probably put all that stuff together and.
I got you.
So Psycho 316 says. Guys who wear skinny jeans took get into a girl's pants too literally. Yeah.
Hey, my finger is a rate increasing device too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John Dieter said bloke on the range got banned today.
Who?
I don't know.
Who was that?
I don't know.
I mean,
yeah.
He said bulk on the range?
Bloke? I don't know.
Bloke? Oh, okay.
I don't know. I don't know if that's a YouTuber or he's just saying bloke. Like, you know how the British say a bloke is a dude is a bloke. It's like a dude, except in Britishy. Let's see. Crackbot says all aftermarket triggers are rate increasing devices. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. And 22 snake shot / rat shot says Wolf Stonehenge. I guess people are still talking about that. So William Hoffman said bloke on the range got banned, no warning. So that's a YouTube channel, which I never heard of.
Oh, William Hoffman. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, Gorillas and Guns says yes, bloke on the range. He's a YouTuber. Florida Gun says he's the English dude on YouTube.
Oh, that guy. He was at NRA.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see him now.
Yeah, he had the the jacket with the jeans.
Wait, is that Richard Monder? Is that what his YouTube channel's called? Richard Monder?
No, it was bloke on the range. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, but is that the same? The guy who wears the jackets with all the patches on it. I thought that was Richard. I thought that was Richard Monder. Did he get banned?
I didn't know he had a channel.
Hold on. I'm gonna have to search for this right now. Okay, you guys talk amongst yourselves.
Okay, all right. So, hey Ryan, how's everything going?
What's going on?
Okay, make it interesting.
Awkward silence here.
Okay, Lola wants to know, Ryan, have you shot the Echo trigger?
I have not. I want to. It's one of those. I need to find a friend who has one and be like, hey, I will give you a mags full of ammo, and can I shoot that? So I just need to find a friend with one, and we're like, absolutely going to shoot that. I have not. So tell me about it. Is it pretty awesome? Because
it's like totally awesome, dude. Really is awesome, man.
Like what's the point of it? Like what does it do exactly?
Opt out of gun control. He basically taught me into one. So what I'm going to do is this. My birthday is in September for anybody that wants to buy me a gift. You know, I take gun stuff, you know, but
oh boy,
you know, but in September, I'm actually going to go ahead and invest in one, but I'm not going to put it in a AR-15 yet. I'm actually having one once I get my funds up to where I can afford the AR-15 I want. I got to build it here. Hardline Customs. If you guys ever want to look at their page, they pimp out different AR-15s, and I'm going to have them drop the Echo trigger inside of my pimped out AR-15 pistol.
Yeah. Okay, very cool. By the way, that's not Richard Monder. That's a totally different guy. That's Bloke on the Range. And he has, I'm looking it up, he has a YouTube channel, Bloke Off the Range. So if people want to subscribe to him, they should go to Bloke Off the Range and subscribe there. Okay. So basically, Ryan, if you've read about it, these binary Echo different triggers, you pull the trigger, it fires, you release it, it fires.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You know, the triggers tend to be, you know, they have a premium. They carry a premium price. And
I'm looking at it. That's $500 about.
Yeah, it's the most fun in 22s. It's the most. What are you gonna say, Rod?
Big Daddy Unlimited. How much can we get an Echo trigger for?
Ask Lola to look that up.
Okay.
I know they do have triggers on there. You know what? Okay, let me see if I could pull it up while Lola's looking at it. But yes. So anyway, it's the most fun in 22s. My personal opinion. You could put these in 9s. They've got lots of different ones now. We were testing one which we have on excluded. If you guys want to look at the video, we just recently tested the binary trigger from Franklin Armory, and that video, since YouTube does have these policies, is on excluded, along with a bunch of other videos that we're going to put up there that are banned on YouTube. I'm just working on switching all those videos over. So all the videos we took down from YouTube are going to wind up on excluded as well. So you guys can check those things out there. But I think they're fun, and there's some practical use to it, like especially for double tapping, right? Mm-hmm. And there's different kind of triggers. There's one that's a cassette style trigger, which is very limited because everything is there. So you can't necessarily put it in everything. And then you have ones that are not cassette style, so it's more flexible. If you're going to put it into an AR, or even you're going to put it in a 308 or something like that, hopefully you have lots of ammo money.
Mm-hmm.
The most fun to shoot it in, to me personally, is a 22. So. That's like what I think about it. And I think Lola also wrote here, Ryan, what are your thoughts on YouTube and all the stuff going on YouTube, while I try to look up these Echo triggers that...
I mean, they can do what they want to do, but the fact that they're singling out, you know, people using legal firearms, doing illegal activity, and doing so, you know, with harming anyone or educating people is just, I mean, a completely political move. That's all it is. You know, it's not like you guys are pushing out how to blow up something or how to cause, you know, violence, or it's completely politically motivated. It's utter crap. You know, the way they're using their influence, and, you know, how huge Google is to infringe on people just, you know, enjoying a hobby, which is a right for people to enjoy. It's just utterly believable that they would take a stance on that, you know, when they realize that it has no bearing on people, you know, harming anyone. You know, it's not like you would have issue with like a violent video game. I don't see you know, either video games or movies or TVs getting taken away, you know, when they use, you know, much more examples of violence, which is really the basis of, you know, supposed why they're pulling these videos down. Now, I mean, you can go to any, you know, any kind of movie trailer and see, you know, 10 times the amount of violence you're going to see on anybody's gun channel. I'm sorry. It's just,
if you look at the video that YouTube allowed Childish Gambino to put up there.
Absolutely.
You know, if you look at that video, I was looking at it the other day. That's an incredible amount of violence. It's simulated, obviously, but they let him put it up there. You know, we don't put up videos like that. We put up videos about safety, educating people. When we're shooting safely and all that kind of stuff, trying to help people defend themselves and advocating for the Second Amendment, etc. We get banned. Now, you know, I'm not trying to say that they should ban videos like that, by the way, whether you like it or not. I'm not particularly a fan of I actually like Childish Gambino's. I'm into hip hop and I like a lot of his stuff, but I think that was crap. But I'm not advocating anyone ban that. Ultimately, I think like all these things should be up there and people should be able to make their own decisions. And, you know, but like you said, Ryan, look, they can do what they want to do. And that's the way that it is right now. Perhaps what we should do is have our own things. And I know lots of people are working on it. So we.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, you know.
Hey, I say vote for a Strange Tube channel.
Yeah, I'm not. It's a very expensive business to get into. That's why, you know, I'm working with people to do that. It's a very expensive thing to do. So, okay, so someone asked about these different triggers, and they are, by the way, you can get the FOSTEC Echo trigger. So what we use, Ryan, if you ever watch the channel, to tell people, because the way the Big Daddy Unlimited works, I don't know if you've ever heard of it. Have you?
I have not, no.
So basically, Big Daddy Unlimited is a subscription service, which for $10 a month, you for $120 a year, if you pay yearly, you get a subscription, and then you get into our system where you can buy guns, accessories, ammo, stuff like that at dealer cost. So you can save a crap ton of money on buying stuff here. Now, because of the map pricing rules, you have to subscribe to see the prices and all that.
Right.
And so what we do when people ask us about these things, we're trying to tell them how much money they could save, since we can't tell you numbers and prices. We refer to what we call Walther bucks. And so Walther is one of the people who's always on the show here with me. And a Walther buck is pretty much equal to a Benjamin. So I'm looking here, and if you get this from Big Daddy Unlimited, so this is the FOSTEC Echo. Hold on, let me see exactly which one it is. The Echo AR drop-in. You will save about 1.7 Walther bucks.
Not bad.
Yeah, so that's pretty good if you know. Lots of people are getting involved in this. If you want to spend the extra money, absolutely, I say go ahead and spend the extra money. If you want to save some money, right there in that case, you would more than pay for your subscription for a year. So,
oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and I think that they have. I'm not sure if Franklin Armory is in here. Let me look. While you guys chit chat amongst yourselves.
Hey Ryan, I bought some.
Gonna do that again.
I bought some records. They call Hey Love Classics.
Hey Love Classics. Is that like jukebox stuff, like old school from the 80s?
Yeah. No, let's talk about maybe.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Let me stop all that nonsense. Okay, so they do have triggers in here from Franklin Armory as well. The particular one I'm looking at, the BFS3, you can save about half a Walther buck. But there are different triggers. Like, let me see. I'm looking at. It's not in stock right now. But if things are out of stock, you can get email notified on here. And this is for the HK. The H&K. You can save 2 Walther bucks on the HK trigger.
Wow.
So
HK is $1 too.
Yeah, exactly. So the HK trigger, which is cool. I mean, you know, I would. That's fun in a lot in you know, your MP5s and stuff like that. So
just remember, HK thinks you suck and they hate you.
Yes, that's the thing. Of course. But you could get an HK clone.
True, absolutely.
You
never seen that? You never seen that post before, Rob?
No.
Yeah. Oh, HK Yeah, HK hates Americans, and they hate the American consumer pretty much.
It's a whole entire blog post. Go Google that.
Yeah.
What did Kevin Dixie think about that?
He loves HK, but lots of people do things that go against. Kevin doesn't seem to think that they hate the consumer. I know that. I've talked to them several times, but people do lots of things that go against what they usually say when it comes to things. Certain people I know will go places to get free gun stuff, even though those people might not necessarily like them. Yes, you, Rod Mills, you are guilty as charged. Yeah,
that's direct shade. There's what.
And then fall asleep and then just leave empty-handed.
Did you get your free stuff from there? I don't know.
How that work out? Matter of fact, I actually wound up spending money when I was there.
Oh well, see, I would love to say I feel bad for you, but I don't.
Yeah, man. I'm thinking it got to be about 9:30. I'm like, man, the hell with this, man. Why would you guys want to have something like this late at night after a long day at the NRA?
Yeah. Emmanuel Goldstein wants to know, if we missed the NFL talk. Yeah, you missed it. We really got deep into that in the beginning of this.
Yeah.
But his statement is because the players aren't being forced to take millions of dollars to throw a ball and grab ass. I think I agree with that. No one's forcing them to take that money.
Nope.
But getting back to that though, they are actually going to still kneel. I guarantee you, because of the fact that the fine that they'll incur is nothing. Ryan, let's say if I find you $5, for doing something, you're gonna
slap on the wrist.
Yeah, slap on the wrist. That's all it's gonna be to them. You got these guys making multi-million dollars. Okay, their paychecks a week is usually somewhere between 50 to 80,000.
I think they take
house.
Yeah, they take fines all the time, and listen, I don't have any problem with that. Also, people should let us know who they are. I like to identify people. Absolutely. If someone's racist and doesn't like me or doesn't like this thing, or I like to know, then that way I can make an educated decision. If we force people to shut up and not say anything at all, then we don't know who they are. I'm perfectly happy finding out who people are so that, we don't. Absolutely. If we don't agree with them, we also have the right to not support their asses and let them be broke out there. And maybe go try to play football for some other countries.
Hey, I hear Canada has their own football league. Okay.
Oh, they do.
Johnny Manziel.
Oh, okay. All right. Lola's giving me the sign. It is, Lola doesn't want us to get back into that conversation.
Hey, we ought to have like a sound effect when it gets to be 9 o'clock where like Big Ben starts ringing a bell or something.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you one thing, Rod Mills. This is America, and I do own this microphone.
Oh, boy.
So I can override Lola Strange. I don't care how much you think she's the boss. Lola,
Granddad.
Close your ears. Don't hear this. Lola's not the boss of me.
Uh-oh. Yeah, right. Okay.
Where's the air raid siren?
You're not the boss of me, woman.
Hey, Ryan. Now you're about to see a purse fly across the screen.
All right. Okay. So listen, she's like, okay. You're gonna be talking that boss crap later.
Hey, remember that guy that was the shoe thrower guy that threw the shoe at Bush? And he was ducking while he was giving that speech.
There's a meme in that somewhere.
Yeah. Okay, so listen, this has been fun because actually the time went by really fast. We have to do this again, Ryan.
Absolutely.
Let us know if you want to come on if there's some stuff going on with gun rights across America.
Absolutely.
But what I'm going to do here is, this is like your chance to give your last pitch. Tell people what you want to do, where you want them to find you guys, what you guys have going on.
Yeah, I was like, absolutely. If you have any issues in your own backyard of whether gun rights or ordinances or anything going on in your own state or maybe an election or something like that, come check us out on our Facebook page, facebook.com Gun Rights Across America, or Twitter, GRA America. And that way, get in touch with us. And then if you're unsure of what's going on, we'll give you, we'll educate you and what to do and help you along the way to rectify whatever problems you guys are having.
Absolutely. Very cool. Thanks, Ryan. Okay, Rod Mills, what's going on with you?
This weekend, Memorial Day weekend, as I started the podcast out earlier, please go out and help a veteran. Pay your respects. Remember, this is not a holiday just for people to be off. This is a holiday for us to show respect for those that have paid the ultimate price. Secondly, hey, go to my YouTube page or my Facebook page, preferably my Facebook page first, at Scorched Earth Firearms Training. Scorched Earth Firearms Training for Facebook and for YouTube. And hey, I may have some nice pictures coming up, pretty soon on that. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. The freedom that we're celebrating is not just like a barbecue day. The freedom you're celebrating was paid for by the blood, sweat, and tears, sacrifices of families and lots of people out there who died so that we can have all this.
Mm-hmm.
So try to remember that. We won't be here Monday. We'll take those days off, as well as we won't be here next Thursday. There's lots of things I'd like to remind people of. Of course, ATI Outdoors is our sponsor, Big Daddy Guns, Andrews Custom Leather, Safety Harbor Firearms. I want to encourage everyone to click the thumbs ups for this video. I know it's at the end. And also make sure you're subscribed to Lifestyles of the Locked and Loaded. That's where these videos go live. People are always asking me, like, how do I actually see these videos when they go live? They go live on Lifestyles of the Locked and Loaded, and then we rebroadcast it on Hank Strange. So if you want to see it when it's live and participate and all that kind of stuff, you got to go to Lifestyles of the Locked and Loaded on YouTube and subscribe. Make sure you check out Gun Rights Across America. Okay.
Rod, what are you doing with the bear?
Yeah. Rod Mills, be very careful. If you see Rod Mills in an unmarked van, teddy bears, be really careful. Thanks a lot, guys. I will see everyone tomorrow. You guys stay right there. We're out of here, though. Peace out. See you guys tomorrow. Who do we have on tomorrow?
See you guys.
Oh, wait, tomorrow we have what is it?
Walter's
back.
We have Texas Swine Sniper, right? Got it right. We got them tomorrow. So be here or be square. We're out.
Peace. Walter.
Yeah, I don't know if